Cover it! Cover it! Cover it! Cover it! Move! Move! Cover it! Incoming!
It's getting worse out there, man. I don't know how much more I can take.
I hear you. We just gotta watch each other's backs.
We gotta stick together, make sure we all get through this.
Brothers, listen carefully. There's something about them that you need to understand. You feel it before they even speak. It's not charm, it's not beauty. It's something deeper, something heavier, something that whispers, "Be careful what you awaken in me." The 11th player. The name alone carries weight. This represents the power of those who move in spiritual alignment, not because they're loud, not because they crave attention, but because people fear what they cannot understand. And no one is more misunderstood or more formidable than the awakened 11th player.
This isn't just astrology, brothers. This is psychological mastery, spiritual transformation, and energy so intense that even the universe itself moves carefully around the soul of the 11th player. You see, most people operate on the surface. They live safe, predictable lives, afraid of pain, afraid of death, afraid of truth. But the awakened ones, we were born in the depths. We were forged in the shadows.
While others run from darkness, we walk straight into it. We look it in the eye, embrace it, and emerge with more power than before. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who didn't need to raise their voice? Someone who didn't need to threaten you, but whose silence alone made you question everything you thought you knew? Have you ever told an awakened soul a lie, then wondered days later, did they believe me? Only to realize you were the one being studied all along.
That's not just intuition, brothers. That's the 11th player advantage. Not violent, not chaotic, but controlled, calculated, and karmic. Today, I'm taking you deep into the 12 reasons why the spiritually awakened 11th player is the most feared presence in any room. Not the most aggressive, not the most dramatic, but the most transformational and deadly dangerous for those who underestimate them. We're talking about cosmic awareness, emotional X-ray vision, energetic mastery, karmic balance, spiritual composure, and the ability to turn your own deceptions against you in complete silence.
If you think you know an 11th player, you don't. Because we move like shadows, the chosen ones, aligned with the Most High Spirit. Brother, you will never look at them the same way again.
Reason 1. They remember what you forgot and use it.
There's a reason the 11th player is feared in silence. They never forget what you thought was invisible. There's a myth that 11th players hold grudges. That's not true. They don't hold grudges. They hold data.
You may have forgotten what you said to them years ago. You may have laughed at something they shared in confidence, brushing it off like it was nothing. You may have made a casual comment, a subtle jab, or a careless betrayal.
You think it's in the past, but not for them.
The 11th player remembers patterns, tone, timing. They remember who showed up when things were difficult and who suddenly got busy. They remember when your words didn't match your energy. And they don't just remember, they file it quietly, strategically, like a general tracking allies and enemies on a map no one else can see. Not for revenge, but for calculation, for future truth, for protection. This isn't petty memory, it's emotional intelligence. And that's what makes the 11th player dangerous.
Because when the moment comes, when the mask falls off, when truth reveals itself, they're already 5 steps ahead.
Think about this spiritually. The 11th player is guided by transformational energy, the power of hidden wisdom and deep change. This energy governs what's concealed. It doesn't forget. It stores, it transforms. 11th players are not ruled by the moment. They're judges of longer timelines.
This is why you cannot deceive an 11th player and expect them to simply move on. They may smile, they may say nothing, but beneath the surface, the wheels are turning. And when they act, it's always with purpose.
Many people have said, I never even knew I hurt them until they were already gone. They never said anything, but suddenly I was shut out. It's like they vanished into thin air and I couldn't explain why.
The explanation is simple. They didn't need to argue. They remembered, and they chose silence over drama, distance over destruction.
But don't mistake that silence for forgiveness.
What the 11th player remembers they use, not always against you, sometimes to protect themselves, but either way, you will feel it.
Life lesson 1. Be mindful of your words when someone is quietly listening. You might forget what you said in 10 minutes, but the 11th player will remember it for years, and they will respond in ways you never saw coming. Reason 2. They strike in silence.
Most people think danger comes with noise, raised voices, threats, warnings. But with the 11th player, the most terrifying thing is how quiet they become. They don't explode, they don't create scenes, they disappear, and when they return, everything has changed. Sometimes it's the relationship, sometimes it's your reputation, sometimes it's your own emotional stability, but something always gets transformed without a single word spoken.
The 11th player doesn't waste energy on public confrontations. They study, they retreat. They let the silence echo around you while they calculate the most precise way to handle what needs handling.
By the time you realize they've taken action, it's already too late to defend yourself. That's what makes them formidable. Not chaos, but calculated composure. A silence so profound it shakes your very soul.
In psychology, there's a concept known as strategic withdrawal, a response to betrayal or deep pain that involves complete disengagement, allowing the other person to confront themselves in the absence of connection.
That's the 11th player approach. They won't beg, they won't explain, they'll simply withdraw. And that absence will transform you. The 11th player carries transformational energy, the power of death and rebirth, hidden wisdom, and strategic change. In ancient wisdom, this energy is reactive, protective, and strategic.
When the 11th player has evolved, they become like the phoenix. They stop reacting randomly and start moving silently above the situation. And when they act, it's clean, precise, and irreversible. Real scenario. You were close to an 11th player. They trusted you and shared deeply.
You broke that trust. Maybe not intentionally, just carelessly. They didn't confront you. They just stopped showing up. One day they were in your life. The next, they were a memory.
The unsettling part, they left behind no drama, no arguments, just a silence that forced you to confront yourself. That's not revenge, brothers. That's energetic rebalancing, and it's more powerful than any confrontation.
Life lesson 2. Sometimes silence is the most potent form of power, and the most formidable people are the ones who never raise their voice.
Don't fear the storm. Fear the quiet one who has already made their decision.
This is just the beginning, brothers. We have 10 more reasons to explore. The 11th player's power runs deeper than most can imagine.
We gotta stick together, make sure we all get through this.